So good morning, everyone. So today I'm going to talk about consistency and usability and a little bit about my backstory. So how I got into coding. So it was originally from when I used to come home from school. I was hooked on the countdown numbers game. That got me into working out logic and how to solve problems. I then went on to edit the school's website when I was at sixth form. That gave me an insight into how to code, and back then you had to code HTML from scratch. I then did a degree in computer science where I graduated in 2007 from the University of Kent. I then, 12 years ago, had brain surgery for epilepsy. And for the last 10 years, I've been looking after my mum who had dementia. She sadly passed away in 24, which is why it's taken me a while to get the business off the ground. So, hobbies. So, as you can see, I'm a very keen photographer. I love taking photos. These are photos I took on my recent trip to Anglesey in January. I love singing. I have a really, really strong singing voice. I'm learning to play the piano and you'll see in a minute how this fits into other things that I'm doing. So work. So I have two businesses. So Rachel's Apps is my main BNI focus, but I also have a side hustle called Rachel's Resins and Embroidery. So this is so I've been cross stitching since I was a young girl, and I do stitching on anything, so wood, card, anything like that. And I had a friend who got me into the resin. And so resin, for those of you that don't know what resin is, it's two different liquids. You pour it at the right ratio. You can add things like glitter, pigments, anything you like. You pour them into molds and then they harden. And then you come out with things like these pyramids. So other jobs. So when I was looking after mum just before the pandemic, I spent 2 years working as an admin assistant with the Alzheimer's Society. So that was good because I was both a service user and I was helping them at the same time. I've also just spent a year working with Shopper's Federation WI as their bookkeeper, and I'm currently still secretary of my own Westbury WI. So that involves taking minutes, attending committee meetings, and basically helping with the leadership, a bit like secretary treasurer role with BNI. It's leading the group. And I'm also currently an exam invigilator with Mary Webb School. So we're right in the middle of GCSEs at the moment, and it's very interesting. I mean, yesterday we had one student who just didn't want to do the exam, and he was reported to the exam board. So, what's changed in my life recently? So, those of you that are on Facebook have probably seen this already, but I've started with the Samaritans, so I'm training to be a listening volunteer. So, what that involves, so I give up a morning every weekend where I have to go into the branch and we do some group training, and we have to do some online training as well. But I'm hoping this is going to help me with not only my communication skills, but also listening skills. And another new thing. So I've been the locum parish clerk of Westbury, of my parish of Westbury since November last year. But as of April, I've now been assigned the full clerk. And we had our annual meeting on Monday, which was kind of throwing me into the deep end. But I got through it somehow. And as you can see, so this is utilising my skills. It will use my skills that I learned as a bookkeeper with the WI, the agenda and minute taking. But also, as you can see here, I've taken the opportunity to use my IT skills, my photography skills, and my web skills to actually update the parish website, which I really enjoy. So, question for you. What would you say if I showed you this on the street that you were driving on compared to that one? So the first one, you'll probably look at it and think, why is it blue? You probably didn't recognize it as quickly because it's not what you identify. We'd usually expect to see a red sign. So things have to be consistent. Why use a blue sign? Red signs are much more easy for your brain to pick up. So I'm now going to talk you through some button designs. So I thought for the mobile apps it's something that I'll show you, and it's something for you to think about. So in this example, the left-hand side, why is the left-hand side better than the right-hand side? Well, firstly, you've got three different colours. So if I'm on an app, I could kind of say, well, the first one I know is active, the second one probably is inactive, and the third one I'm not sure about. The second one, I could tap on each of the three buttons, and I'd have no idea whether they were intended to be active or not. So another example, having consistent borders. So your brain will automatically see this side better than it will that side. The inconsistent borders makes it much harder for your brain to process. So thirdly, and this is an important thing, this was taken from Principles for Web Design, but it's also equally applicable to app design. And this one is very applicable for apps. So we all have fat fingers, and you know when you tap somewhere, if I tap here, if I tap on buy this, I know I'm clicking on that button. If I know I'm on that one, I know I've selected learn more. If my finger goes here and there's not enough spacing, I have no idea whether I've tapped the buy this or the learn more button. So this is why spacing is very important, but it's a juggle to get it right on a small screen. So another example. So our brains love simplicity. So the left-hand side, much more easier for your brain to process, much more easier for it to recognise and for you to work out what you're going to do. The right-hand side, far too fancy. So it takes my brain a few more seconds to actually work out what the buttons are doing. So that's why there's a motto in life, keep things simple, and this is applicable here. So a real world example. So as most of you know, I've been doing the Lyme Regis Lifeboat Week app. So the left-hand side is the first version and the right-hand side is a cleaner, more modern version. The left-hand side has a dark blue header and footer, which overbears the user, and the display is just far too crowded. Whereas the right-hand side, there's only the bottom bar that's actually coloured, and it's much more contemporary and easy, and the colours are much more easier on the eye. So what do I offer? I offer free consultation to discuss your mobile app idea. I do custom built design. I do prototype design with mock-ups. I involve you at all stages from your mobile app journey, whether it's just a free consultation to discuss what we're doing, through to getting it on the app stores, through to even helping you to market it. Because at the end of the day, an app is a bit like a website. It's as useless as a chocolate teapot if you're not using it and you're not marketing it. So I help you with things like ASO, app search optimization. So this is the app version of web SEO. So it's all those keywords that will help you list better on the app stores and Google Play. So remember, it's an app you need. Contact Rachel Reid. Does anyone have any questions?